Hello everybody, Sean Milburn with Milburn Motorsports here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We're at the outside course. It's currently 7 o'clock in the morning and we're getting the car prepped for the first round of the US Touring Car Championships, which starts today. I've never been to this track before, so we're gonna see what the track's like a little bit later. We got Tom Milburn over here, he's checking the tire pressures out. So every time we get here, we just make sure all the lug nuts are tight. We make sure that the air pressure is where we need to be in the tires. We make sure everything's topped off, all the fluids are good. Check everything on the car just one last time before we get it going. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, and then I'm gonna get out for practice at around 8 o'clock in the morning. It's gonna be my first time ever seeing the track in person. So it should be a good time. You guys will get to see what it's like being out there for first time on a track, as well as my thoughts about how to go around a racetrack for your first time being on it and not taking it too strongly so you don't just go off the track. So we got the RSX over here, and the rest of the whole US Touring Car field is all going to be residing in this direction. So we got the Genesis for the touring cars. This is part of my competition here. This is Reza in his Civic, Charlie in his BMW, Gordon and Ali's Genesis. So there's two Genesis out here. These things are really awesome. Got Michael McCulligan over there. He's got an RX-8. Some ARG guys over there. They're Beamer guys. And then, yeah, I think we still got some stragglers showing up, but they got to get here soon because first time being on tracks at 8. This thing is one of my competition, and it's fast, so this is going to be really fun to race against this. Alright, so this is my first time being on this track. Right now I'm following Reza Arsham in his Civic. He's part of my competition. Me and him are good friends, so this is all friendly fun out here. Like in the race, it is a competition. We are all trying to win, so racing's racing when you're out in the race. But he has no problem showing me the line. He's been here before, I have not, so we're gonna follow him for a lap. Right now, I'm just trying to check out what he's doing, seeing the line he's taking, so I can try and refine it. I see the way he does it there. My car goes a bit wide, so just have to figure out what each one of these corners wants me to do, where I need to brake, if I need to brake. This corner right here is very tricky, so you actually have to start braking before that dip to the right because of look how tight that gets. It comes away from you so fast, but it doesn't look like it when you're entering the corner. I noticed that was a trend for most of the corners on this track, at least the hairpin corners, like this one too, watch. So you stay out super wide, you have to roll over the back half of this apex to power out to the outside edge, and then you got a big long back straight. So this has definitely turned this track into more of a horsepower track. It gives me a little bit of an edge because now that we have the RSX all built up, I have a little bit of a horsepower edge over my competitors. So definitely kind of the ideal configuration to run at this track, though I would have liked to run the larger track. I won't complain though. I can tell this corner is going to be scary in the future because look at that wall right there. So that big long right-hander is a perfect setup right into that wall, and if you're going to have a bad moment, it's going to be in that corner. This corner is the trickiest one on the track. Look at how long you have to wait for this. The track just falls away from you right here. So you have to be super patient going through that corner. This one is pretty standard. It's a right-hander onto this straight. That's why you have to pinch that other hairpin so tight. Again, it's an 8 a.m. session. Track's cold, tires are cold, so not doing anything too crazy. It definitely helps if you get to follow someone around the track. I can show you an idea of what it's supposed to look like. So I'm just gonna keep following Reza here for a bit. All the way to the outside, trying a short shift here into 4th gear. Car seemed to like that there. It definitely kept it stable, not running it to the top of 3rd and going to 4th early. So that'll probably be something to consider as I continue forward. Right there, I just worked on that braking zone. You can see what I mean about the track just falls away from you. You really gotta be paying attention before that little corner. I'm feeling kind of comfortable, so I'm gonna go ahead and pass up Reza. He's taking it more chill. And I kind of want to practice this at speed to try and figure out my braking zone, figure out what gear I should be in each corner, how I should take the corners, because I get this session, the next session, I'm on my slick tires, so breaking those in, so I can't do that many laps so I don't heat cycle the tires too hard. After that's qualifying where I'm going to have to send it, and then it's the race. So I have a short amount of time. Right here you can hear all the lockup on these Nitto MT-01 tires. The Nitto MT-01 tires used to be much better, I realized. So the new ones that we got, they must have done something with the compound, because they don't work as well as they used to. They really don't. You can hear them. You can hear them at all times. Listen to that. And I do understand, like, you can see I'm blowing corners here, right? Trying to figure some of this stuff out. I'm pointing someone by here. Rob Harper, GT car, 550 horsepower Corvette. He's just gonna blow by me here. So we're thinking about changing the set of tires that we're on. See if we can improve our practice tires, because you want to be practicing on a sticky set without being on your seasonal set. We only get to use 2.5 sets of slick tires per season. So we have a cap of 8 tires that we are allowed to use, or 10 tires that we're allowed to use. I'm sorry about that. Want to use those sparingly, use them wisely. You don't want to be practicing on them. Here, brakes just locking up. More the tires can't hold the braking force because they're cold, track's cold, and the tires honestly really just aren't working as well as the old NT-01s used to work. We're gonna definitely be switching that up. Listen, they're screeching like they're all seasons even. I'm not even going that fast through the corners. Here I skipped ahead, so right now we're just going by Charlie Frank there in his BMW. He also hasn't been to this track, so he's going to go ahead and let me by here so I can continue on with what I'm doing. I'm going to try this corner again, stay out a little wider here. Since it is practice, you can just try different lines. It doesn't matter if you blow a corner, like right here, you can just hear the tires. I blew that corner, I blew this corner, carrying too much speed. So now I know if I end up being wide there, I need to apply a little bit of brake. So it's good knowledge to gain for when the race comes. Not only am I thinking about the perfect racing line for the track, I'm also trying to think about defensive and offensive maneuvers, which corners I'm going to be at an advantage against my competitors, as well as where I might need to defend against them. Because my car isn't like the fastest car through the corners. Honestly, the people out here have some really pretty quick cars, and they're good drivers. So you gotta be careful. No mistakes. No mistakes is key. So this practice is over. I'm going to go ahead and move on forward here. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and hop in. And we're going to go drive over the scale. So this is called a TrackMate. So this is actually our GPS data acquisition tool that we use in this series to keep everything fair. So this keeps track of all the car's data as we're going around the track, and then it gets taken by the officials at the end to make sure the power's correct, the weight's correct, there's not too many G-forces being pulled out of like turns that shouldn't be there. So it keeps everything like close together for the cars and fair, so that one car doesn't just pull away from everyone. So we're gonna go weigh so that I can put the correct number into the TrackMate of how much we weigh, because if the weight is too low, it'll say that we have too much horsepower, and if it does that, then we're going to be disqualified, and we don't want that to happen. So now that we're back from the scales, I have the TrackMate on here and I have it linked up to the laptop that I have sitting in my lap here. It's a little crammed, sorry, I can't get the best angle on it. But this is the TrackMate setting here, right? So I'm gonna go into this program, connect to the TrackMate right here. So we get it to this screen. Here, let me adjust it here. So we have the RSX here. We're gonna put the weight at 2887. So now, you can even do tire size final drive. So we're gonna actually do this as well. I'll input this right now because it's a little boring. But all of this is important because this makes sure that that TrackMate is getting accurate data so that when the officials pull it, nothing is off so I don't get disqualified. The next practice session's in about 20 minutes, so I got to go ahead and get ready. I have to get in my full suit, fire resistant suit. That's the way the US Touring Car works. Everybody else is going to go do the same. And we're gonna break in these slicks a little bit. I'm gonna do some laps just breaking in the tires so that they're ready for qualifying. So when qualifying comes, they're ready to be used. Qualifying is very important. So we'll see that in very shortly here, very shortly. Alright, so for this session, I'm just going to be warming up the slicks, as I said before. We're going to be taking it real easy. Most people are going to be passing me up here because I'm just trying to scrub the tires, really. Everybody else is still on their practice tires. Well, I'm on the tires I'm supposed to be racing on. But I want to be able to have a full qualifying session without having to break in the slicks within the qualifying time, so I can just put in a couple good laps and then call it good. So here I've just been letting people by, keep driving around the track a bit. Here comes Mike Seakin, he's in the Super Touring class. Followed by, this is Ken Kurtz in the IS300 in a touring car. So both of them are trying to get their lines down. Edgar Lau, a very, very good driver in an M3 for GT class. Also going to be letting by Victor in Audi R8, as well as Gordon Pun, good friend, in the Genesis. So we're following Gordon a bit here, and he absolutely blows this corner. It was pretty great to watch. I'm really glad I got it on camera, so I was sure to give him a hard time about that one. But yeah, you can see how misleading that corner is. What I was talking about before, it really just comes away from you. So you gotta be braking before that little turn. We're about over here, so I'm gonna head back. Alright, so I pulled the RSX off from that second practice. I am on the new race tires, just broke in a little bit. I went out there, did like 5 or 6 laps. 3 of them were just taking it super easy, getting the rubber, used to being warm. And then I sent it for a good lap. Like I did one really, really solid lap and then did a really slow cool down lap. And then brought them in. I got them all covered up because you don't want the sunshine to be getting onto them. They're pretty sticky, and when they cool down, you don't want the sun making them all hard. So I'm gonna leave them like this, just covered up, and they should be good to go. Qualifying is at like 2 p.m., so we got a long time, but it's okay. I did a pretty quick lap apparently, so that feels good. I was on slicks. Everybody else is on their practice tires, so we'll just see how it goes in qualifying. That's really what matters. Alright, so here we are in qualifying. Right now we're headed onto the main straight. I've already skipped through the warm-up laps because you've seen enough of that. You guys want to see the action, so here we go. We're going to start doing some hot laps. I'm going to actually be putting the race tires to the test. Right here as we enter the first corner, I am downshifting a bit too hard. I think I can carry a bit more speed than third gear through that, so let's try fourth gear next time. I do eventually figure out that fourth gear is a better gear there. Fourth gear, short shifting there is still a good strategy. I'm liking that one. The two cars in front of me are super touring cars. It's Victor in the Audi R8 and Mike in the BMW M3 E46. So they're kind of poking at each other a little bit. I get hung up by Mike here, so my lap time's kind of ruined already. It's a little unfortunate, like that's just part of it, like you gotta find your own gap of space. I thought since they were super touring cars that they'd be able to just kind of like pull away immediately. There's no point in like trying to poke him to pass him because he is faster. It's just kind of unfortunate he hung me up there, but we'll get another lap. There's still plenty of time. He dropped 2 tires in the dirt on the outside there, and I thought he was potentially going to be a goner in that K-wall. That was my main fear right there. 2 tires off there is really bad. Like you just can't. You have to stay on the pavement. Tires are working good. Nice slicks. That was a much better corner. And now we're racing down the main straight again. I do have the track made on, recording data. That way I can actually, yep, right here you can see I reset start finish line. So now as we go along, this lap will be from that reset start finish point. Mike did speed up here, and he is away from Victor now, so they have their own gap of spacing, and I am free to run and do my pace while they do theirs. Yeah, nice little trail break up over that corner. Someone drove through the gravel, and that put me so wide, but not wide enough to where it ruined my lap. That was still a fine recovery from that. Should have only lost maybe a tenth there, which is okay. This back straight is super long, and it's also the first time I've been using 6th gear through a corner. The practices I was keeping it in 5th, but this, now that I'm on some nice slicks, I was confident enough to put it in 6th gear through that. And then you have to downshift it all the way to 3rd here, so you gotta really get the car downshifted through that section. It's a very intense braking zone. There's a lot of technical things you need to do there. Or you can just loop from 6th to 3rd. Some people loop gears. I try and not loop gears. I think it's kind of a bad habit, though I understand the benefit of it if you do it properly. So, yeah. In the race, I was actually going 6 to 3 at like the back half of it, because I started to get used to doing that. You can see there I was checking the track meet, and I was actually just kind of looking for what lap time that lap gave me, so I'd be aware. It was a 138.4, which I felt was strong enough to be pole position. That is a very fast time for the sportsman class, and I knew it was from seeing the practice times earlier in the day. That was like a 2-second pickup on what I had in my practice sessions, so that's big. Yeah, you can see how busy that was. Actually got it 6.543, all in that braking zone. Heel toe rough match downshifting. Great spot to practice it as well. 4th, downshift into 3rd here, so I can use the differential to turn the car. Mike goes ahead and spins in front of me. I think the car just barely got away from him coming through that corner. Power oversteered and into a snap oversteer, sent him off the track. But he was fine, nothing happened that was bad, and he was able to carry on. So right here, I'm actually headed into my cooldown lap. I didn't want to use up a ton of the tires, so I feel I have a secure time, and I'm going to be coming on in. Alright, so I just got done with qualifying. That went really well. The car's working extremely well. That was good. I looked at Race Hero. I'll go ahead and post the sheet here of all the times that were listed for the US touring cars. I did a 138.4, which is 0.9 seconds clear to pole position. So that just tells you right there that the machine's working great. This car is beautiful, and I'm nice and hydrated, and I'm driving well. So we're gonna see if we can get this done for the race today. I have very high hopes. After seeing that time, seeing how like everything's working out, this is kind of my race to lose. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Brad Austin in the Miata, really fast driver, really good guy, one of my good friends. It's gonna be an awesome battle out there, and I'll have that footage for you shortly once the race begins. So I'm gonna get ready for the race in about an hour. It's coming up, it's faster than we expected. I mean, we've just been switching out the tires, checking all the slicks to make sure that the tire pressures are correct, that there's no like folding in the tires, and that they're going to be running optimally. It's going to be about a 10-lap race. I'm going to put that in a separate video just by itself because that's going to be long enough as it is. So this is going to be the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed seeing the US touring car environment. If you want to come out, go to USTCC.com. You can see all the rules and regulations there. If you have any questions, there's a phone number you can contact. Yeah, come out and join the series. We can always use more cars out here. If you want to come race against me, go ahead and build a sportsman class car. You can come race against the RSX. We'll go toe to toe. No issues with that. So I'll see you guys in the next video. It's been Sean Milburn with Milburn Motorsports. I'll see you again very soon.